Hello everyone, and welcome to my Iconic Goodbyes channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Dumas reaches out to Billy after Victor admits to Michael that they are old rivals, and Sharon and Daniel bond. Today on The Young and the Restless, Daniel and Sharon talk about moving on. Phyllis tells Summer and Nick she doesn't know what to do, and Billy explains to Sally why things never worked out with Phyllis. As Phyllis sleeps, she has nightmares of being locked in the clinic. Summer starts hammering on the door, waking her up. Phyllis opens. Her daughter is present with Nick. Phyllis says that she does not need to be monitored continually. She was simply experiencing a bad dream. What she went through was difficult, but she simply needs to be left alone. Nick insists they're not going, but Phyllis claims she doesn't need any babysitting. They will not depart. Her kid tells her to quit pretending everything is good. Nick pushes her to seek medical attention, but Phyllis argues that she has already seen EMTs and that the poison has left her. Nick continues to worry, and Phyllis begs for them to stop. They do not know what she went through. She was not only held captive, but also with Sharon. Who is sick enough to come up with that? She wants to know which crazy would do this to her. The redhead advises him that if he wants to hold someone's hand, he should go to Sharon. Screaming, she begs them to stop attempting to help her. Nick hugs her while she begs him to stop making her feel this way. Phyllis apologizes for being a blubbering idiot. That is not who she is. However, both her and Sharon changed. They were created to rely on one another and keep each other sane. Sharon has been her opponent for the whole of her adult life. She doesn't know what to do without such emotions. How am I expected to handle this? She asks. Phyllis blows her nose, and her daughter recalls her she nearly died. Sharon saved her life, but Phyllis still resents what she did to their family. Nick pushes her to let go of her anger, but Phyllis maintains that everyone believes she enjoys it. She understands Sharon isn't a monster, but she's just as crazy as she is. Nick gets an idea. Daniel approaches Sharon when he notices her eating alone at society. He inquires about her well-being and shares what his mother told him about the clinic. Sharon recognizes that it's far from done. He understands how difficult it is to feel safe with a kidnapper out there. She says it's good of him to inquire, and they talk about how unusual it was for her to be locked up with Phyllis. Sharon had no notion what the point was. They hope to find a way to forgive each other. You almost make it sound like this person was trying to do you both a favor, she says. Sharon would not describe it that way. It worked for her, though. They were obliged to save each other, and she can give Phyllis credit even if she does not reciprocate. Daniel wonders if she was truly able to overcome her anger for his mother, or if she was simply pretending. She will admit that feelings do not disappear overnight. She expresses gratitude, anger, and confusion. It is exhausting. She's not sure if the peace with Phyllis will endure, but she hopes it marks the beginning of their recovery. Daniel claims they are both on separate routes to the same destination. One thing he may learn from this difficult period in his life is to look for the silver lining amid the darkness. He begs her to hold on to everything positive. Sharon is not concerned about Phyllis. Nothing is beyond her ability to survive. They discuss about Lucy, and he says they hardly talk about Heather anymore. As they discuss how complicated things are, Nick texts her and asks to meet. She thanks Daniel for the talk and says she will see him again. After she goes, he sits at the bar. Tessa enters with golden hair. He tells her about the chat he just had and how his mother is pretending to be fine following her tragedy. They talk about Mariah, and Daniel thinks he should tell her about all that has transpired since Ian returned. Tessa believes they are all collateral damage from terrible people doing evil things. He claims she has given him a lot to think about. Talking with her always helps him feel less wild. Mariah is fortunate to have her. When Sharon arrives at Crimson Lights, she discovers Nick seated with Phyllis and Summer. Nick explains that the two women should sit down and chat about what they went through. Phyllis claims this was Nick's idea, but she agrees with it. Summer and Nick resolve to respect the lady's privacy. He acknowledges to Supergirl that he doesn't know what will happen. At Billy's, he greets Sally with a kiss and apologizes for pushing her away earlier. She felt that Phyllis needed to talk to him about what had occurred to her. When he replies he doesn't want any secrets between them, she wonders if Phyllis was asking him to keep one. He simply wants them to be open and honest because their exes lied to them. Sally asks what Phyllis wants to talk about. He reveals that she wanted to express her commitment to the company and thank him for saving her life. He can't stop thinking about what would have occurred if they arrived 5 minutes late. Sally is concerned that this has permanently connected him to Phyllis. He gives her a kiss and swears she doesn't have to worry about anything. He just wants Phyllis to be on top of her game at work. He feels that Phyllis will struggle to recover from what transpired. Something cracked while she was imprisoned. As they drink, he discusses how much he and Phyllis are alike and why their relationship never worked out. He would rather focus on Sally tonight. She prefers the sound of that. After he returns after fetching food, Sally tells that his phone has been blowing up, and he has been receiving texts from Aristotle Dumas. At the GCAC, Michael informs Victor that the spies they have at Glissade are still present. Jabot is still taking Glissade in, so it will be some time before they learn anything. Victor is eager, and Michael wishes he could appreciate commercial success as much as he does. The mustache asks him what he has learned about Dumas. Michael adds that he isn't very interested in Winters or Damien. He will keep excavating. Victor prefers not to be shocked by any plans. He believes Dumas is up to something. The lawyer asks his boss if he has any unreported past with Dumas. Victor confesses it. He faintly describes some interesting struggles over companies. Sometimes he won, sometimes Dumas won. Michael will investigate why he has emerged at this moment. Victor reveals that Dumas arrives, hits, and then disappears. He acknowledges that he wants the Winters to put Dumas in his sights. YNR spoilers, Paris kidnapping case Ashley Allen's next victim? The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Alan Lauren/A.K.A. Martin Lauren's reign of terror in Genoa City is far from ending. During the Wednesday, March 19th program, Alan called Tracy Abbott with an unusual update. The two were meant to fly to Paris together to start looking at wedding sites, but he opted to go ahead of her since he was planning a surprise. Red flags, anyone? Tracy Abbott's Alan Lauren epiphany while Tracy misfired on Wednesday's show. The weekly preview indicates that the proverbial feces will hit the fan in her world. A clip from the March 24, 28 Young and the Restless teaser shows an emotional Tracy telling Jack Abbott that she believes Alan isn't who he claims to be. What does Alan do that brings Tracy to tears? Fans understand that Alan is actually Martin, and he may feel like the walls are closing in on him. After all, he kidnapped Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman. Fortunately, the women were found and rescued. In addition, Tracy saw several weird warnings on his phone. This may have pushed Martin to crack, and fans saw some of his true colors out last week, but will it fuel the desire to wreak greater damage? The Ashley Abbott factor. Ashley Abbott is the one who technically introduced Alan and Tracy, as Alan's assistance with Ashley's dissociative identity issue brought him into Tracy's life. Ashley's entire experience was started by an encounter with Martin. Ashley resides in Paris, so could Martin contact her? Could he trick Ashley into becoming his newest victim? Eileen Davidson has taped some scenes for the serial that will run soon, and when Ashley comes to the canvas, fans can expect huge turmoil. Martin's current hostage crisis may be the catalyst for his eventual exposure, but what kind of harm will he wreak in the aftermath? Trap set, clearing the air and comforting an ex. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, March 24th, hint to some shocking developments as the new week in Genoa City begins. Someone prepares traps for their foes, another reconciles with a loved one, and a character consoles his ex. It's time to plunge in and discover what type of drama unfolds on Monday's episode. Victor Newman sets a trap. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, March 24th show that Victor Newman will lay a trap for an enemy. Is this about Jack Abbott and Jabot, or perhaps Aristotle Dumas? During the soap's preview for the week of March 24th to 28th, Victor revealed to Michael Baldwin that Dumas is an enemy and that the two have a history. So, what does the mustache have up his sleeves? Billy Abbott clears the air with Sally Spectra. Is this about his feelings for Phyllis Summers? He's spent a lot of time in his ex's orbit lately. Not only are the two working together, but he also assisted Nick Newman in rescuing Phyllis and Sharon Newman from their kidnapping. Will he try to reassure Sally that he and Phyllis are just friends, or is this about something else? Speaking of Nick and Phyllis, Mr. Newman will be there to console his ex-wife at her moment of need. When viewers may recall, when the Wednesday, March 19th episode came to a close, Summer Newman went into Crimson and pleaded her father for assistance where her mother was concerned. Summer was concerned about Phyllis's post-kidnapping behavior, and it appears that Nick will find her in a very emotional state on Monday's show. Is she fine, or will she want therapy or assistance following this incident? In any case, Nick appears to be reassuring Phyllis that she can rely on him when necessary. J. Eddie Pack from The Young and the Restless uses his passion to save animals. J. Eddie Pack goes above and above to protect endangered species. J. is the star of The Young and the Restless. Eddie Pack, who plays Cole Howard, recently spoke with Soap Hub about how his enthusiasm for animals has helped save many of their lives. Pack is dedicated to improving the lives of animals in need. He works relentlessly to find homes and foster families for the shelter's most vulnerable residents, those on the urgent list. It's in his roots. If you follow Pack on Instagram, you'll know he's passionate about helping animals find permanent homes. He not only assists his furry pals in the Los Angeles area, but also in Cool, California, Joplin, Missouri, and Santa Clarita, California. Following the horrific wildfires in Southern California earlier this year, the actor helped create an Amazon wish list for the Castaic Animal Shelter. We are currently seeing an epidemic of unhomed animals in this country as a result of the increased animal population caused by the pandemic. When people were at home during the epidemic, many of them decided to bring a pet into their home. Then the kids go back to school, people go back to work, and not everybody is able to manage that situation. They end up oftentimes either surrendering the dog to a shelter, or we had dogs all the time that people just let them go and just hope somebody else will find them and give them a home. There are approximately 6.5 million dogs and cats currently in just the public shelters, Peck pointed out. Out of those, approximately 920,000 will be euthanized to make room for incoming. Unfortunately, many animal shelters around the country are overcrowded. As a result, some people are obliged to euthanize animals they cannot care for. Peck fosters and places these most vulnerable creatures in people's homes. If he can't locate a new home, Peck frequently fosters or adopts them himself. Peck's life interest is to aid animals who are unable to help themselves. What I do here is focus on the at-risk urgent dogs, which are often the most difficult to place. Not all at-risk animals can be placed in the neighborhood, so Peck helps seek funding to place them elsewhere. Some dogs are moved when an adoptive lives outside of the area or state. We often raise money for their transportation or training to make them more adoptable, better assessed, and so on, Peck added. Wings Hauser, 78, a Young and the Restless alum, has passed away. Sad news for Young and the Restless fans. According to Variety, Wings Hauser, who played Greg Foster on the soap from 1977 to 1981, died of natural causes at the age of 78. Wings Hauser's acting legacy. Hauser recast Greg Foster after James Houghton, 1973 to 1976, and Brian Kerwin, 1976 to 1977. Foster was an attorney, the brother of Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, and Nikki Newman's, Melody Thomas Scott, first husband. Hauser returned to the drama in 2010 for 3 episodes after his mother, Elizabeth Liz Foster, Juliana McCarthy, became ill and died. After Hauser left the drama in 1981, the character was recast, this time with Howard McGillen. With being stated, Hauser's acting influence stretches beyond soap operas. He played the villain, Pimp Ramrod, in Vice Squad, 1982, for which he also penned and performed the theme song, Neon Slime. In 1983, he wrote the story for the box office blockbuster Uncommon Valor, which revolved around his childhood buddy Gary Dickerson, who had visited Vietnam. Hauser had also worked on several other films, including Hear No Evil and Tough Guys Don't Dance. The actor also made an impression in the world of primetime television, with over 40 guest appearances in shows such as Beverly Hills 90210, Murder, She Wrote, and Monk, among others. Wing Hauser's family. Hauser is also the father of Yellowstone star Cole Hauser, who plays Rip Wheeler in the classic Western drama. Wings leaves behind a daughter from his first marriage as well as Callie Lily Hauser, his fourth wife. Callie posted on Facebook that Wings' one-of-a-kind, legendary career spanned 58 years in movies, TV and music, working alongside many of the greatest artists in the industry and earning their respect. On behalf of everyone here, we send our heartfelt sympathies to Wings Hauser's family, friends, former colleagues, and fans. What's wrong with Phyllis on The Young and the Restless? Summer is concerned about her mother's madness. Is it possible that she's correct? Summer believes that something is wrong with Phyllis. The Young and the Restless wrapped up Phyllis and Sharon's kidnapping. Chance, Nick, and Billy saved them. However, Summer believes that Phyllis's horror isn't ended yet. Could she be correct? Is she deceiving everyone? Summer's spidey instincts have kicked in. At the end of the Wednesday, March 19th episode, she told Nick that she believes something is wrong with Phyllis. Despite the fact that her mother has been rescued, she does not believe she is safe. This means that Supergirl will be on the case. Summer refuses to let go of a thought that makes her uneasy. We've previously seen how she reacts around Claire. Summer hones those instincts and refuses to let them go. She believes that Phyllis is not doing well since her captivity. She simply wants to move on to the next chapter of her life. Phyllis quickly joined Billy in their business venture. She was sad to learn that he started without her. What could go wrong? There are numerous options regarding what may be wrong with Phyllis. For example, she could be in denial about what transpired. It's as if she wants to go forward with her life. Phyllis has battled with a lot over the last few years. However, she appears to move on, not allowing herself to understand what has occurred. Either she moves on to the next man or the next business opportunity. This is how she copes with and recovers from the trauma she experienced. It's also possible that Phyllis is on the verge of a mental breakdown. Summer knows her better than anyone else. Phyllis could face the same challenges as Sharon. However, Nick fails to recognize the warning flags when it comes to either of his ex-partners. How many times did he presume Sharon was fine when she wasn't? Something tells us he should listen to Supergirl this time. There's also the possibility that this is nothing. Summer could be trying to reconcile her parents. She could dislike the notion of Sharon and Nick becoming close. Summer did the same thing to Claire and Kyle. She attempted to drive a wedge in their relationship by unloading her issues on Kyle. We want to know whether Summer is correct or wrong regarding her mother. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.